The military that are very important for countries also include the very strong military forces of many countries. Countries have a very strong military in land, air, and naval forces, where many countries are strong. The Italian armed forces are the second most powerful military force in Europe. The total number of active military personnel of the Italian armed forces is 289,000. 165,300 of these soldiers are active. 18,300 of them are reserve soldiers. The ground forces have 200 tanks, 61,892 armored vehicles, 108 towed artillery systems, and 21 missile systems. The Air Force has 800 aircraft. Of these aircraft, 90 are fighter aircraft, 29 are air transport aircraft, 163 are training aircraft, 402 are helicopters, and 57 are attack helicopters. The Pakistan Armed Forces was established in 1947. The Pakistan Armed Forces has 654,000 active and 550,000 reserve personnel. In addition, in terms of the number of soldiers, it is the 10th in the world. It is a great power. The land forces have 3,742 tanks and 50,000 armored vehicles and 3,200 towed artillery systems and 602 missile systems. The Air Force has 1,000 aircraft. Of these aircraft, 387 are fighter aircraft, 60 air transport aircraft, 549 are replacement aircraft, 352 are helicopters, and 57 are attack helicopters. There are 114 ships in the Navy. These ships are 2 destroyers, 9 frigates, 7 corvettes, 8 submarines, 69 coastal defense ships, and 3 mine layers. Turkey is the 8th strongest country in the world in terms of number, and the 3rd strongest country in NATO. It has 883,000 soldiers at the top. It has 400,000 active duty soldiers and 300,000 reserve soldiers as active duty soldiers. The ground forces have 3,742 tanks, 50,000 armored vehicles, 1,700 towed artillery systems, and 286 missile systems. The Air Force has 1,000 aircraft. Of these aircraft, 205 are fighter aircraft, 83 air transport aircraft, 275 are training aircraft, 502 are helicopters, and 111 are attack helicopters. There are 186 ships in the Navy. These ships are 2 destroyers, 16 frigates, 9 corvettes, 12 submarines, 34 coastal defense ships, and 11 mine ships. Japan is the 5th most powerful army in Asia. Japan has a total of 328,000 soldiers. Of these soldiers, 247,150 are active, 56,000 are reservists. The land forces have 518 tanks, 37,000 armored vehicles, 480 towed artillery systems, and 54 missile systems. The Air Force has 1,459 aircraft and 217 fighter jets and 56 transport aircraft, 420 training aircraft, 577 helicopters, and 119 attack helicopters. There are 150 ships in the Navy. These ships are 4 helicopter carriers, 36 destroyers, and 4 frigates, 6 corvettes, 23 submarines, 6 coastal defense ships, 22 mine ships. The British Army hosts more than 1,108,000 personnel and 184,000 active soldiers and more than 924,000 reserve personnel. Britain is the most powerful military power in Europe. The land forces have 213 tanks, 27,000 armored vehicles, 126 towed artillery systems, and 41 missile systems. The Air Force has 664 aircraft and 120 fighter jets and 30 transport aircraft, 219 training aircraft, 277 helicopters, and 52 attack helicopters. There are 117 ships in the Navy. These ships are 2 aircraft carriers, 6 destroyers, and 11 frigates, 10 submarines, 26 coastal defense ships, 9 mine ships. The South Korean Army is the 4th most powerful military in Asia. In total, it has 3,820,000 soldiers and 600,000 active soldiers and 3,100,000 reserve soldiers. The ground forces have 2,501 tanks, 66,492 armored vehicles, 4,863 towed artillery systems, and 581 missile systems. The Air Force has 1,576 aircraft and 354 fighter jets, as well as 41 transport aircraft, 288 training aircraft, 758 helicopters, and 100 attack helicopters. India is the 3rd most powerful military power in Asia. It has 5,137,000 soldiers. 1,400,000 of these soldiers are active and 1,000 are reservists. The ground forces have 200 tanks, 61,892 armored vehicles, 108 towed artillery systems, and 21 missile systems. The Air Force has 2,296 aircraft and 606 fighter jets, as well as 264 transport aircraft, 351 training aircraft, 869 helicopters, and 40 attack helicopters. There are 294 ships in the Navy. These ships are 2 aircraft carriers, 12 destroyers and 12 frigates, 18 corvettes and 18 submarines, 137 coastal defense ships. China is the second most powerful military power in Asia. It has a total of 3,170,000 soldiers. Of these soldiers, 2 million are active, 510,000 are reservists. The land forces have 5,000 tanks and 170,000 armored vehicles and 1,400 towed artillery and 3,100 missile systems. The Air Force has 3,304 aircraft, 1,200 combat aircraft, 289 transport aircraft, 402 training aircraft, 913 helicopters, and 281 attack helicopters. In the Navy, 730 ships and has 2 aircraft carriers and 3 helicopter carriers, 49 destroyers, 42 frigates, 72 corvettes, 61 submarines, 150 coastal defense ships, and 36 mine ships in the Navy. The land forces have 14,000 tanks and 161,000 armored vehicles and 8,000 towed artillery and 3,000 missile systems. The Air Force has 3,304 aircraft, 1,200 combat aircraft, 289 transport aircraft, 402 training aircraft, 913 helicopters, and 281 attack helicopters. In the Navy, 781 ships and has 1 aircraft carriers and 3 helicopter carriers, 49 destroyers, 42 frigates, 72 corvettes, 61 submarines, 150 coastal defense ships, and 36 mine ships in the Navy. The land forces have 4,657 tanks and 360,000 armored vehicles and 1,200 towed artillery and 694 missile systems. The Air Force has 13,300 aircraft, 1,854 combat aircraft, 957 transport aircraft, 2,600 training aircraft, 5,737 helicopters, and 1,000 attack helicopters. In the Navy, 472 ships and has 11 aircraft carriers, 9 helicopter carriers, 75 destroyers, 23 corvettes, 64 submarines, 5 coastal defense ships, and 8 mine ships in the Navy.